Ding ding dong, ding 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 dong. What's up, party people? What's up? What's up? Oh, I ran upstairs. I'm out of breath. Ran downstairs because I needed to turn on my light. Also, y'all, I had a dream the other night that I had given my shadow workbook away, right? And I don't even remember who was the recipient of it, but the person didn't want to take it from me at first because she thought it was my last copy. And I was like, no, that's all right. And if I need another copy, I can always get it. So it's like, no big deal. But oddly enough, cleaned up one portion of my desk where it would be, and I don't see it. So I must have moved it. However, you can find this book on Amazon. It's $12.99. It is 45 prompts. It has some groundwork in the beginning, some affirmations and supports in the end. Also, I added in the book, I thought about mental health lines. The book is a companion to those who are starting their journey. It's not an end all be all type of, there's no claim that this is going to solve all your problems. This is to help you unpack. Where does this come from? Why do I think like this? Who hurt me? What hurt me? Why am I allowing it to hurt me? How come I'm not confronting the hurt? That is a lot of the questions that you will find. And it's not that general or basic as I just made it sound, but that's how it addresses things, right? So, when you are unpacking your shadow work journey, the goal in mind is to dig into what makes you you, right? And what makes you you is not only the core person you were when you were born, but your experiences in your early childhood and up, right? Because things change. Some of us experience some severe childhood trauma. Some of us don't. Some of us experience adulthood trauma, and some of us don't. Shadow work is how we unpack that trauma and how it shapes us, how we unpack the good part and the light. So it's the dark and the light. You know what I mean? So, you know, what makes me feel good? What do I consider success? What makes me feel happy? What you know, how would I want to be remembered? You know, if people if you were to pass on, what would the people say about me? Those things. And if do you care? Do you care what they would say? Are you okay with what they would say? And if there's something you want to change about what they would say, what would that be? What would change? That's shadow work. When you start digging into your core personality, your core beliefs, your core wounds, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? That shadow workbook, again, you can find it on Amazon. You can also use that as your companion journey when you go to address things with your therapist, right? So if you are, let's just say you're digging into a particular childhood experience and it made you feel some kind of way, and you realize that that childhood um, journey impacted you a certain way, um, that you don't behave the same. So, for example, one of the traumas my mom had, that she passed down to me, was the fear of water. Now, I'm not so scared of water the way she is, but when I was a child, I was impacted by her fear of water. When she was 13 in a public pool. Somebody pulled her legs down. Now this is prior to her being learning how to swim. Pulled her down under the water and caused panic. Of course, right? You don't know how to swim, and somebody pulls you under the water and held you there for a second. The fact that they pulled her was like, wow, that's a trauma that makes it so that she will not even stick her toe in the water. I used to think. It took me a while to realize that ain't no point in asking her to come down to the neighborhood pool with me when we were living in a gated community because they had their own pool. She's not gonna get in that water. I was old enough in my generation, you went by yourself a lot of places. So at 10 years old, I'm in the pool frolicking. I'm on my hands in the water. I might not know the mechanics of swimming, but I wasn't scared to hold my breath and play in that water. Whereas my mother wouldn't even stand at the edge, let alone with her feet in it. Trauma. Not funny, but trauma. You know what I mean? And this is something that she hasn't even attempt to work through. She just don't go near the water. She's just not gonna go in it. Me, I really personally, I don't like natural bodies of water because of the fact that that's their living room. Those natural crustaceans and fish and wild sea life. That's not my neighborhood. Okay. I recognize where I belong, and that ain't it. Now, have I been in natural bodies of water? Absolutely. My father made it so that he implanted a lot of memories that I went to the beach every summer. I went to Jamaica with him, and I was a teenager then. I was holding on his neck like I was 5 because we were in the middle of water and I couldn't touch the bottom. And he swam like a fish. He ended up, wanting me to release that chokehold, so he took me back to shore. I'm good on the shore. I'm good on the beach. I'm good on the sand. You feel me? But I took the risk to go out there with him a little bit. But he couldn't let me go. I'm laughing at myself, y'all, because these. Sometimes we think nothing of the traumas that we have until we have to relive it, until we have to experience it again, until we have to unpack it because it's affecting an area of our life. And with shadow work allows you to unpack the things that um, trigger you or give you fears or deter you from experiencing life a certain way. Shadow work allows you to grow, right? Because once you unpack that trauma, sometimes trauma has us stuck. And we're at one point in time in our life and we want to advance, we want to move forward, but we can't because we're stuck. We're stuck at that traumatic moment that won't let us, like, say, if you had, I don't know, like a teacher that yelled at you a lot, right? Everything you did was wrong and they made you feel like you could do no right. You might be less apt to take a chance on something. You tell yourself, I can't do it. I can't go forward. I can't proceed. I can't because someone else told you that you couldn't do it. Somebody you believed in said, I can't do it. You can't do it, rather. So you get stuck. Some of us don't get stuck and we feel like, all right, I'll show you. Not only will I do it, I'm gonna go above and beyond it. So what if you say, oh, your teacher said, yeah, I don't think you can learn. I know you'll never be a teacher. Just say they said something like that. And there's some people will say, oh, okay, they'll take that trauma and they'll turn that into, okay, well, I won't be a teacher. I'll be the superintendent. I'll be the principal. I'll be somebody over the teachers. Now, Spirit said that comes with some stuff too, because that's how police are born. Teachers as administrators, because some people want that power over the trauma, but you got to process the trauma and know that everything that somebody does to you is not your fault. And you do not have to take on the behavior of the person that traumatized you. You do not have to accept that trauma as your own. You can say, all right, you know what? I know this hurt me, but I can move past it. That would be the basis of working on your shadow. That would help you unpack a lot of things when you realize, I can do that and I can keep on going and I can make the lives of other children better. For example, if we're going back to the teacher, and say, I can inspire other kids to want to be teachers and be good teachers, to never say nasty things to their students and degrade them and dissuade them from their purpose or their goals or their dreams because I believe that they can't. I'm going to believe in them regardless, right? That's a good teacher to me. And some of us have had those negative experiences with people in charge of us. Some of us have really good ones. I come from a school district, as you can see, I'm a black woman, right? So I came from a school district that had a lot of black administrators, teachers, actually. Not a lot, but enough in power of position that inspired many of us in my grade level and some of them above and below to become teachers. I know a lot of teachers, principals, coaches, and other school personnel, all as a result of being in an environment where you saw who you are and you aspire to be. That's the light. That's somebody showing you their light, right? And that's when you have that kind of goal to do those things in a way that you know can be done. That's when you're living in your light body. That's when you can show your best face and feel good about yourself. Now, shadow work does not mean that you get rid of the bad parts of you. It's more of an integration. It's more of a acknowledgement, understanding, a help, so to speak, right? Of how do I blend these things together? How do I become more unapologetically myself? Like I'm learning through my spiritual journey about more about my astrological chart. And I found that my Lilith is in the first house. And it's also the same house of my ascendant, right? And it definitely I do personify Lilith in the first house. It resonated with me because it's more of a you either take me as I am or leave me alone. I'm okay with just leave me alone. If you can't take me as I am, let me go. Don't impede, don't, or I will let you go. Either way, you won't be in my life long if you are in any form or fashion attempting to harm me or not accept me for who I am. If you don't accept me, even if I find out on the low, like you talking about me or whatever, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm just not. And you don't need to know the reason why unless I choose to let you know. I'm just not. Now, a lot of people don't walk with that kind of energy because we want to hide things about ourselves. We don't want people to accept us as we are. We want people to accept us how we present ourselves when we show our representative. But with shadow work is blending yourself so that your representative and who you are can be the same person. You know what I'm saying? So if you are, in fact, let's say you are a doctor. Um, you're proud of the fact that you became a doctor or whatever you are a doctor of. But you might have colleagues that have additional credentials, higher ranking, own practice, and here you are working at a practice as a doctor within a practice. And so you got people that are in higher degrees or high, I don't know. You know what I mean? People who got a little bit more stature. And they look at you like, oh, yes, nice, you're a doctor too. Well, I'm a doctor, blah, 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 with a little bit of blah, 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 blah. You take out a resume, but sometimes people will want you to stay small because they think they're better. But when your shadow work and your confidence is up, it's like, yeah, I mean, you chose your route, I chose my route. You are who you are, I am who I am. And I can tell you that that confidence is not always immediate. It's not always immediate to feel like, well, I'm just as good as you. It takes some time to recognize that who I am and what I represent and what my purpose is mine. It's mine. And I don't have to be like this person or better than that person to be me. To be me. Just to be me. Shadow work helps you unpack the me in you. You know what I mean? Like who you are. I didn't become this person I am today overnight, and that where my confidence is now was not a year ago or 2 years ago or 10 years ago. I might have had the different versions of me that had glimpses of that, but being more, doing more shadow work and getting more grounded and getting more centered and settled in my life, I'm more confident about who I am today. And I know that I can be better. I know that I will be better. I know that I can be. I know I am going to be better, right? So it's like it's a journey. Like this never ends, right? You build upon what you've learned. You build on who you are. You keep going. It's not dark night of the soul and shadow work. They can go hand in hand, because a lot of times it's because something impacted you that created that. But it's not the end of the world, and it's not that won't happen again. It's just that you're going to have to go through this journey. And when you're in it, in the thick of it, it's very painful. It's very revealing. It's sometimes hard to understand. Why me? Why am I experiencing that? Why am I going through this? Why am I going through that? Right? But ultimately, you can overcome that, and knowing that you can will help you get to the other side. It just takes a little time. There's no complete endings to everything unless you want it to be, or unless it's, or the other person or the other situation is, something that you can't go back to. But growing, becoming, living, journeying, all of that is a process. It's a process of doing something. Notice the ing at the end of the word, meaning you're doing that at this time. We're all grown. So I just wanted to come on quickly and give y'all a piece of shadow work, experiencing what that could be like. Just to also let you know, go on and Amazon books and look for Do It Your Damn Self Shadow Work. Um, in my thumbnail is a glimpse of the title if you're not sure, because when you pull up my shadow work book, other ones that are associated with that type of work come up. But choose Do It Yourself Shadow Work. Look at the two reviews there. There's been 6 reviews, but 2, I think, written. One was recent by one of the viewers that come on this channel, Paulie. I really appreciate it. I knew she gave me a review through email, but I didn't know she put it on Amazon until today when I looked, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know, because I don't go back and check. I own my own copy, so it's like I don't usually go back and look. So that I want to say, Paul, thank you so much. And again, check out the book. It can be very helpful on your journey, and you can go back and repeat. Even though this is the beginning of your journey, sometimes we have to go back and look. And Paulie said she did the book and then went back and looked to see what changed, what got better, what's different, right? And follow her advice. Get your pen and paper ready and take this journey with me, y'all. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you see this recording, comment in the comment section. Let me know how shadow work has impacted your life. Tell me more about Do It Your Damn Self Shadow Work book. I know there are others out there, but this particular broadcast is for you to tell me what you think about that one or just your journey in general. All right. Appreciate y'all. Peace.